against yourself. Do not go against God because it's going to make you more money. Because with God on your side and with you listening to God, your pockets will be full. I promise you. You will be prosperous. I promise you. But so many people go against God, and what they don't understand is, number one, the material things do not matter. So many people throw out their morals to gain more material items, and what they don't understand is God sees our hearts, and when he don't like where your heart is at, he's going to fix that. He's going listen, I would in this day and age, all I'm gonna tell y'all, I can listen to people, you know, a good majority of people are cool with God. People are building their relationships with God, I can tell. But for those who aren't, I wouldn't want to be you soon. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, Jesus is coming back, because in order for Jesus to come back, we all have to know that he is genuinely coming back. And when we all know that collectively, there he will come. And we're not at that point yet. But what I'm trying to say with all that, I don't mean to get so, you get what I mean, but it's getting to a point where God is, you know, he's restoring this planet. He is restoring humanity as a collective. And those who are not listening, those who are not following his path, those who do not trust in him, you will not be granted permission to the new earth. That's all I'm gonna say. He is restoring this planet, making it harmonious again, and I am so excited for that. I know it's happening.
First of all, I want to say this girl right here is hitting home in so many areas of our lives. For one, she's talking about how our purpose, she was like, there's no purpose of a family vlogger. That is not your purpose, because this is not what you're supposed to be doing. You can't convince me that this is what you're supposed to be doing. You're not supposed to be exploiting our children at a young age. And she's talking about how a lot of kids are being exploited. A lot of babies are being exploited to, you know, technology. And all over the world, they're being put in this position where, you know, they don't even get to see the darkness in the world. They don't even get to see the darkness. You know, they don't even get to experience the darkness before being exposed to the light. And I'm like, I used to believe that so heavily. You know, she reminded me of what I used to believe. You know, being that light in the darkness is basically you're allowing your light to shine within. You're not depending on outside resources to be that light for you. You know, there's a lot of things that happen in the darkness. And this is, you know, this is what's, we're holding all of this in. This is what embodies us. You know, our experience, our history is what embodies us. And basically, she's basically saying a lot of babies are put in a position where they don't even get to experience life for themselves because they're too busy living life for other people, because they have not been exposed to other people all over the world. They don't even get to experience, you know, what we've experienced in the past. And so that kind of hit home, like I said. She said, going back to the fact that she said a family vlogger is not your purpose, that kind of made sense a little bit to me, because I used to believe that. I used to believe, like, you know, what happens in the dark stays in the dark. You know, where we're at in our lives, there's a reason. There's a reason why we are not out here. You know, there's a reason why. There's basically just a reason, you know, because before technology, it was only about being present. It was only about being here. It was only about, you know, living our traditional lives the best way we can, making those memories in the dark so that we can pass it on to our children later on in life through our experience, through our ancestors. You know, it was more about that. It was about that. You know, it wasn't about exposing ourselves to the world and, you know, this technology. it's a lot of kids nowadays that believe this. That she's just speaking on her past experience. She's experiencing what I used to experience, what I used to think back in the day when I was in elementary, middle, high school. I don't know how old she is, but her mindset reminds me of how I used to be back then when I used to believe that, we all used to believe in one point, oh, technology, this is not how it's supposed to be. Technology is the reason. Technology is, a hindrance. It's not helping us none. I used to believe this, and I'm just like, wow, she is really making sense. She is really taking me back to when this was a priority. This was a problem. But it's nowadays where anything that goes in the dark can harm you. So it's like she makes a lot of sense, but then this day and age, it's not safe to do a lot of things in the dark. It's not safe anymore for us to live our lives in the dark because it's a lot of people in the dark doing so much wrong that it pushes us to the light and makes us feel like we're not safe where we are. We're not safe to live that life of sacredness in the dark anymore because it's a lot of people just, coming in and I can't think of the word. It's a lot of people coming in and intruding in on our private lives, on our personal lives. It's a lot of people doing exactly what technology is doing today. A lot of people was exposing us when we don't want to be exposed. A lot of people are being that technical figure in our lives to where we feel like they're internally or mentally making us feel like we are not safe here in a sacred. This land is so sacred. This land is so precious because it's so historical, and I feel like we are not safe. We don't feel safe enough not to be exposed. All of the things that we used to do in the dark and we felt safe, we go back and revert back to those ways. It don't feel the same because it's a lot of intruders in our lives that's making us feel like there's no other way but to expose the problem, expose the darkness that's in this light because the darkness is becoming too dark. So she is really hitting home.
This generation.
And she's speaking on dopamine, so that's what I'm saying, like, okay, she's saying how the amount of dopamine, how this amount of dopamine is affecting our lives because we feel like we depend on it more. Naturally, if we live life naturally, we wouldn't need a significant amount of dopamine. We wouldn't need this much dopamine in our lives. It will be more natural, but the fact that we are exposing ourselves more and we're basically depending on more dopamine and receiving more dopamine than we actually need in our lives. In a way, she kind of sounds like an introvert because she speaks on the different classes in life, that a person belongs to. She's basically identifying people with, the animal kingdom. And when she spoke on, the different types of classes, I'm just like, the plant life, the bacteria and all this stuff kind of sound like the same, class, but at the same time, like I said, she sounds like an introvert, but at the same time, she sounds like she has faith. She has a little bit of faith because she's speaking a lot about God as well. I used to talk a lot about the animal kingdom. A lot of people, I feel like we are supposed to be in a way surviving just like the animals. Like you can learn a lot from the animals. I used to watch Animal Life on TV all the time, and it used to just teach me, because we are all supposed to be in this survival mindset. We're supposed to be in a survival mindset. We are here to survive, and that is supposed to be our only purpose if you want to be honest about it. This is supposed to be our only purpose for now. You know, right now in the life we live in to now. I mean, the life we live in now has positioned us, has put us in this position where we can't focus on anything else. The only thing that we can focus on is surviving. So yeah, I understand that she kind of sees life as we are meant to be in this animal kingdom. We are basically in the same position. How she's comparing us to the animals. You know, this is how we see life, and you can't even fault her for that. You know, like I said, I used to believe the same thing because this is how we are. This is how life is. Life put us in this position to where we have no other choice but to think about surviving. Even if we were meant to be more, even if we were meant to have, you know, there's meant to be more purpose in our life, and we are meant to do more. Our potential is made for more. Even if that is the case, the day and age, how men have created this world, you know, to depend on money, to depend on this, we have no other choice but to live life in survival mode, and that's the only purpose that it is. You know, this is our only purpose in life, is to survive. Just for the simple fact that this is how men created the world. This is how, you know, this is how it's set out for us, and it's kind of it's depressing. You know, you go back to those, you know, there was a time, you know, in history when they said the era of depression. Everybody went through this depression, this time in our life of depression, and depression wasn't just a disease. Depression wasn't, you know, a pill that you can go ahead and take and cure. You know, this depression came from way back when. This depression came from history, and we are traumatized, you know, because that is what built us. We are the product of our past. So if I'm being treated for depression, everybody has depression, because everybody's ancestors lived back when there was times of depression. You know, depression used to be an era. It wasn't a symptom. It wasn't something that can be cured. You know, they are only giving us resources. They're providing us resources for their mistakes. You know, they put us in a time of depression, and now we're living proof of that. So therefore, this is us embodied in those historic events that took place way back when. So if I'm being treated for depression, I'm being treated for your mistakes, because this is the very feeling that you put it, you know, you gave us this feeling when you took us through those times of depression back in history. Go check y'all history books. It's all there. You know, they are giving us the truth right there. They're giving us, you know, the proof. They're giving us they're laying out the guidelines of everything I did to y'all. This is what I did to y'all, you know. We put y'all through this depression, you know. We put you through this era, you know, when depression was a physical, you know, was more of physical. It happened, you know, it was a change in the, you know, in life that happened. It wasn't just something that, you know, it wasn't just this it wasn't you know what I'm talking about. It wasn't a part of the mentality. It's a part of the mentality, but it's based off of what they did to us back then, you know. And we're still healing, and we're still curing ourselves. You know, we're going through this, and they're providing help, but at the same time, it was already there, you know. That's why I'm saying healing takes a lifetime. And don't expect yourself to be healed today. Don't expect yourself to be healed tomorrow. Don't expect yourself to be healed 3 months from now, 3 years from now. This whole life, your whole life right now can just be based on the simple fact of healing. In this lifetime, this could be you healing this lifetime. In this lifetime right now, your life you're supposed to heal. And then next lifetime, if there is a next lifetime, if you do come back, like we was also exposed to that belief of coming back. I can't think of the freaking word for it. When you come back, you I don't know the word. I ain't used it for a long time, so I don't even know. But yeah, rebirth. So, you know, if you do come back, then that's that time where you're healing, and now you're living. You come back for a new purpose. You know, I don't know if that's true, but it was all what we were exposed to. So if our mind was exposed to this, you can't help, you know, the simple fact of what you know. This is what you were exposed to. This is what you learned, you know. So like I said, healing can take a lifetime. Healing can take your whole life. So don't expect, you know, to be healed anytime soon, because we have a lot of traumas that we were just born into. We was born into this life, so we took on everything that our ancestors went through. We took on their experiences. We took on everything. So, and we are healing from all of this, you know. So, yeah, she speaks on a lot of truth. I would advise y'all to go ahead and tune into this video, because this video speaks a lot. It's called Social Media Isn't an Escape. It's a prison that's keeping you locked out of your own light. And her name is Jewel Hannah. I would try to leave, well, y'all will see it in the video, and then y'all can just go ahead. I'm going to try to leave it in the description. Actually, I am going to put this in the description, because this is a long video. It's like an hour. It's going to take me a long time to even watch, and I'm not trying to be on here that long. So, yeah, tune in, watch this video. It speaks a lot of truth. And, yeah, just know that healing takes a lifetime. Don't expect to be healed anytime soon, because it's a lot of mistakes that a lot of people have made in the past, and we are just, you know, taking their advice, taking their, you know, they're giving us, you know, these stepping stones to something that they had done. You know, we're not living our life right now. We're healing from their life. You know,
that is a gigantic problem, and I'm so serious, and I say that from the bottom of my heart, because children are the most influential people on the planet, or easily influenced, I should say, not influential, but easily influenced. And so many people are just giving their children phones and screens. I be seeing 7-year-olds doing the TikTok and the all this other type of stuff, and they look up to people who are around my age being influencers, and these people only care about money. Look at the the amount of drama when I was consuming people's lives, the amount of drama influencers my age were getting into was ridiculous. I'm like, you have a child fan base your fan base consists of 10 to 16-year-olds. And look at the type of things you're doing. These are not role models. These rappers, not role models. The minute your child starts to say, well, everybody else is doing, like, that is a problem. So many parents overlook when their child says, everybody else is doing it. And then the parent just says, well, you're not everybody else. You're you. We don't really, well, I understand, but most people don't understand the right thing to say to a child when they say something like that. Because when a child says something like that, that's a deeper issue. That means they are not happy with how they're going down. They're not happy with their path, because they're fixated on how somebody else is living, because it seems to be more fun. And the only reason the devil got himself into the situation he is now, because he wanted to have fun and go against God. He wanted to go against the path that God had for him, because he felt like that was more fun. That's a big problem. And being on social media, you get distracted heavily. You get obsessed. You get addicted. A lot of people say it's the screens that are addicting. No, it's what you're consuming that's addicting. Because using social media has gotten us out of touch with our natural animalistic instincts. Humans are animals. We're not just some, what do you think? A human belongs in the animal kingdom. I believe there's 5 different kingdoms that you can classify all life on this planet as. You've got animals, plants, fungi, bacteria, and something else. I can never remember that last one. We fall under the animal category. We are animals. Just as all animals have their, you know, abilities to do what they got to do, we have gotten out of touch with our animalistic instincts. We have genuinely gotten out of touch with that. A lot of people don't even know how to communicate no more. So many people have social anxiety to talk to another person. So many people, they'll see a celebrity out in public and lose their mind. Why are you geeking and gawking over another person? I don't get that.